Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is someone who doesn't know what that constellation is either. It's Anande Boetas.
What?
That-
Okay. You did it. You threw me. You threw me with a curveball.
Remember that scene when Dewey and Gale are walking to look for the car during the party? And he goes, oh, hey, do you know what that constellation is? And she goes, no. She's like, what is it? He's like, I don't know. That's what I was asking you. That is a tremendous line. I wish I would have used that growing up because it's just, it makes me, I've been living with this movie since 96. So this has been around for what, 26 years now?
Yeah.
Math. Yeah.
Math.
So
Old.
it just keeps getting better and better. And now that we've worked our way through Scream 5, Scream 4, Scream 3, Scream 2, 5 cream, 4 cream, 3 cream, 2 cream, and now 1 cream. I'm glad we did it because it'd be really hard to start with this high of a movie and then work our way up because this is a good film, a very good film.
It's very 90s. It's very good. I actually, just going back to that constellation scene. Oh my gosh, because every time I watch that scene, I feel like I don't really hear what they say because I get so sucked into the Dewey Gale bubble of them. And I mean, they're actually so cringing together, but also the sweetest at the same time. I love that.
How do you feel about Dewey's muscle mass?
I die for his little mustache.
Oh yeah.
I love that scene where he's eating ice cream, outside of the store with the police dude guy. What's the guy's name again? And he's just busy with his ice cream and that little mustache. Oh my gosh, it's the best.
Oh gosh, and just my muscle mass. And does mom know that she's gonna come over and you call me Deputy Dewey in front of people, not Dewey, and just. Oh gosh.
He's the cutest. Just his whole introduction, when we first see him, you first see because he's holding the ghost face mask, and then it's Dewey screaming. They originally wanted to kill him off in the first movie, and then David Arquette was just so great as Dewey, and everybody immediately loved him, and they were like, no, there's no way we're killing off this dude. Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness we had him for 5 screams because, he turned out to be one of the original trios. So great. What a great character.
And just the entire cast. Wes Craven really found a great synthesis for all of these actors, and he let some go over the top. I think he sort of let them exist on screen. He just... in the research for this, Rose McGowan was talking about how this is one of the safest atmospheres she's ever been in. Jamie Kennedy said they had an amazing table read. They drank a ton of wine around Napa Valley. And then Jamie Kennedy was like, okay, I'll see you at 5 a.m. tomorrow. And Wes goes, no, call's 9:40 a.m. And Kennedy was shocked because he's like, what, that late? And Craven's like, we're making a horrible movie about horrible things and death. Let's enjoy it. And just the vibe he created. You always hear, what's interesting? Whenever you hear about a cult classic movie or a really popular movie, I feel like the cast always says it was like a summer camp shooting it. And that's what all the actors say. Yeah, everyone just seems just like they enjoyed being on it. All the just, and not a lot of people expected anything about this. I was reading a lot of the interviews, and Matthew Lillard was saying that, Wes Craven wasn't hot at the time. I mean, he was coming off of Vampire in Brooklyn, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which is really good, and The People Under the Stairs and Shocker. People Under Stairs and New Nightmare are really good, but they didn't make money. So he wasn't like a hot commodity at the time. No one really knew who a lot of the actors were. So I think they just showed up and they wanted to work with Wes Craven. They had a really good script and they made it work. It's kind of fun because I feel like all the movies that knocked this movie off, were knockoffs of this movie, tried to be this movie. I don't think this movie tried to be Scream, if that makes sense. It just set the template. Does that make sense?
Scream was a breath of fresh air the time it came out, and it really modernized the slasher genre. And you're right, where everyone tried to emulate Scream. Scream wasn't really, it gave shout out to all the old classic horror movies. yeah, on that point, like I love it when Billy, like the first scene we meet Billy and Sydney, the PG-13 scene. I also love that, like, yeah, that very iconic scene is like the second season in the movie. Like all the scenes are just so great and iconic. But where he tells Sydney, I was watching The Exorcism, got me thinking of you. What a line. Oh my gosh. But like, yeah, all the shout outs to all the great classics, but it was doing its own thing. And yeah, I mean, yeah, how iconic.
I watched Scary Movie again recently, and the guy playing the Billy role, Billy Loomis role, I love how he makes fun of when Billy Loomis walks in with The Exorcist, and he goes, I was watching The Exorcist, and he takes his fingers and he shakes them around, but the guy in Scary Movie does it like wildly excessive, and it's just, he's such a
I have to watch
slime,
Scary Movie again.
he is such a slime ball in Scream.
Oh gosh.
Skeet. I mean, he is, that scene where
Ew.
he's staring her down in the police station and just looking at her, really good camera work, by the way, but he's just staring her down and just like, just, her mom was killed. Someone broke into her house. He has a cell phone, which in 96 you never saw. I mean, she's gonna be a little freaked out. Like who, I mean, the whole time he's basically gaslighting her because he is the killer.
100%. 100%. Yeah. I mean, like, just never trust a guy with that much oil in his hair. Also, you know, like, oh my gosh.
Should that be a t-shirt?
Yeah. There was Skeets all the way from, like, Scream's face on it. That'd be a great t-shirt. Never trust a guy with this much oil in his hair.
Stupid question.
We'll make millions.
In Scream 2, Tori Spelling and Luke Wilson have that scene together that is essentially word for word what Billy and Sydney said. How did they get that dialogue? Sydney's not going to tell them. There's no one around him. And Billy is dead. So what was Gail doing to get all this information?
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, it's not like she and Sydney is super friendly in the second one. So it wasn't like Sydney told her, okay, I'll give you a transcript of all my conversations I had with Billy. I mean, like, I just don't see that happening unless Sydney somehow included that in some sort of police statement and Gail got her hands on it. I don't know. It's actually funny because after we did the pod for the second episode, I remembered I still wanted to talk about that because every time I watch that scene, I love Luke Wilson as Billy. Like, he's just hysterical.
Oh gosh.
But every time it's like, yeah, like how do they know that? It always takes me out a little bit with the second one. Like, because Gail's the one that wrote the books and the stories and the stuff. So how did Gail know what happened in the school? I do love though the scene now in this movie now with like Billy and Sydney, and where like she just like strips like she gets so mad at him and she runs off to the bathroom. It's a very hysterical run. I love it. I actually remember the spoof and Scary Movie of that scene. It's great. But also then like, so what? How long do you think Stu has been waiting in the bathroom for Sydney to, like, you know, actually appear and be alone? Because she says, go away, Billy, and she runs into the bathroom. And then, yeah, like, Stu's in there with his ghost face attire. I'm like, how long do you think Stu was in there?
Was that their
in the girls'
plan?
bathroom?
To walk her down there, get her flustered, get her in the bathroom, and then get her stabbed.
But I mean, what a plan, because the stairs is like right there. She could just easily have run down the stairs and out the school. Like, how did they know she was going to go to the bathroom? Is there more to this? Are they more clever than we thought? Do they like know her cycle or something? Like, what is that? I mean, yeah.
Maybe before first period, she always uses the same, first class, she always uses the same, she always goes to the bathroom. And so
I like that.
they know her.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. That's a theory.
I guess when I was a high school teacher, you go to the teacher's bathroom in between classes, so maybe they knew. Also, that cheerleader's 40 in that scene.
You're pathetic.
Oh my gosh! But I'm looking at her.
She is 40. She watches Ricky Lake.
Yeah.
Teenager watches Ricky Lake.
But I just thought I was like, are these kids failing? It's an alternate universe where
terrible school
where high schoolers just look old. I mean,
Mr. Hembry, the principal, is just like Like,
flashing
what a
scissors.
principal.
Oh,
Like, he is something.
I like how sensitive they are towards Sydney when they bring her in to talk to her about the murder. And then I like his scissors technique where he expels those kids. Like he's kind of a beast. And when he scares himself in the mirror, that is just one of the funniest scenes. Oh my gosh. And okay,
And he just keeps on freaking himself out. Like, Corey and I laughed so much last night when we watched that scene. He keeps on, like, scaring himself. It's great. I love that.
and
Mr. Embry was great.
the
Great
humor in
character.
this movie, I really caught
Yeah.
on to that. And this is weird. So I wake up early every morning, and I got an additional viewing of this in. And I don't want to wake up my daughter, so I put the TV. I just watched the kind of captions. And while watching the captions, I realized that the actors are really good in this movie. Like there's a lot you pick up on. So I've listened to it with sound many times, but just watching it with the captions on when I'm trying to be quiet and not wake up anybody, you can see how, like, I Rose McGowan, I noticed a lot during that bedroom scene where she's in her jammies, the way she talks to her mom. She's like, oh, like really bubbly, and she calls her, like, McGowan,
very cute.
she called her character effervescent, which I loved. And I also loved that she went shopping for her own clothes because the costume designer couldn't figure her out. But I was watching the performances and just watching how slimy Billy is, watching Jamie Kennedy, like David Arquette. Like, they're all so good together. You can see how much Cox and Arquette have, like, you can tell that they have this thing for each other. And
For sure.
It's just fun watching. You know what else I realized too is this movie, the opening scene when they show her in the tree gutted, that's the meanest moment of this entire franchise. I don't think there's, by far, I don't think there's a meaner moment in this entire franchise. And we've watched them all recently. I mean, I think the kill in 4 was very gratuitous when he killed the girl in her room, but I just think this one was the meanest.
100%. So my mom's visiting me right now, and I was very excited because, like, I get to watch Scream with my mom in prep for the spot. And we sat down last night and we started watching. And when that scene ended, my mom was like, Sinandi, no, I can't. I actually can't. And I'm like, oh, really, Mom? She's like, and she was like, yeah, no, that was too much for her. Like, she's like, maybe during the day. And I was like, well, that is probably the worst, or like, the baddest scene. Like, the comedy is going to come, I promise. And she was just like, yeah, maybe we can watch it during the day rather, because it is. Yeah. It's a mean moment. That was also why we watch this movie now, and it's not scary for us at all. But back then, I was 11 or something. Like, I was like little. Like, that movie freaked us out because it was violent. That opening scene was violent. At the end, there was like a lot of blood and stuff happening in the end there. I think if Matthew Lillard didn't play Stu the way he played Stu, and if Kevin and Wes didn't allow him to ad-lib all those funny, like, picking up the phone again, did you really call the cops? My mom and dad's gonna be so mad. If he didn't, like, add all of that little comic, like, over-the-top crazy bits, like, the last scene would have been also, like, a lot. It's a lot of stabbing and a lot of blood. But yeah, you're right. The opening scene, and just how great is it that they got Drew Barrymore to be killed off so great? Legendary. What Wes and Kevin did there was just, it opened up the field for so much. I think it made every filmmaker and every storyteller just think differently about, hey, what we can actually get away with, like what can work. Thinking outside the box, trying new things. Because that's what Scream did. It tried new things, and it freaking nailed it.
And it's scary. Like, Drew Barrymore's performance is so good in the opening of this movie. And also, I want to say there's a healthy dose of psychological horror at the end with Stu and Billy. More so than any other film. Scream 2, no. Scream 3, no. Scream 4, not a chance. Scream 5, no. It's not. It's more like petulance. These two have control. Like, these are two, well, they're actually grown men when they were casting this, just manipulating and, like, playing. They were, like, playing with their food and just being cruel and mean. And it
more
opens,
grounded.
It opens so mean, and it ends really psychologically scary as well. And it's just, I don't know, I love that this movie has a lot of humor to it. And it's very funny. I mean, case in point, the garage scene when she opens up the freezer door and Ghostface hits it, when she throws the bottles at him, when Tatum hits him with the bottles. There's a lot to laugh at here. Jumping in the mirror, the lines about the constellation, but it gets mean. And I think that's what all the other Scream movies lack. I don't think the meanness of this one is ever matched.
I think, all the other Scream movies leaned more into the comedy, where the first one, I think, had a healthy dose of, the comedy horror, blending it together, because it had a lot of horror and it had a lot of comedy, where the rest, I think, it's definitely more comedy oriented. Because, you're absolutely right. I mean, the first one is mean. Like, last night when I was watching it too, it hit me when someone said Sydney's mom was raped and murdered. And I was like, I always forget that. I mean, that adds a whole dark freaking level to all of that,
Yeah.
We never think of it. We just think, she was sliced and it's all about Sydney and all these things. But I mean, holy moly, when you start thinking about that, you kind of don't want to think about that because it's horrific, You know what I'm saying? It's definitely got a darker layer to it than the others, and I think that's what made it so great, because it really freaked people out. The other Scream movies aren't scary. It doesn't really freak you out, It's very over the top, and again, like I say, lean more towards a comedy. But this one went for things.
Yeah. And I think it also features some of the greatest telephone usage in cinema history. You have the opening scene with Casey Becker. You have the scene where Dewey walks up to the cell phone and goes, "Hello?" What an idiot. I love that scene so much. Stu getting hit by the phone. The cell phone bit. It's such a... I know Dr. Strangelove has some great phone bits, but I think I'm going to lean towards Scream featuring the greatest cell phone bits ever.
Yeah, I think that's a solid call.
What do you
think? Because
think?
I think that is 100% correct.
It's very, too. That's what I love. It's even better than Black Phone. But it's... I don't know. It gets mean. It gets cruel. It still... you have good performers, and you don't really know who they were. So I was watching Party of Five, but I don't think I was really familiar with... So this was 96. I was 14. My brother watched it first. He told me I had to go watch it, so I went and watched it. But I kind of knew Nev. I didn't know who Rose McGowan was. I didn't know who Matthew Lillard was. I didn't know who Skeet was. I didn't know who David Arquette was. I knew who Courtney Cox was. But that's really cool.
That was it.
Because you can look at them as their characters. And what's interesting about Nev Campbell in this franchise, we talk about her as being Sydney. Nev Campbell just doesn't do much in regards to act. Not when she's on screen, she doesn't do much. She just doesn't appear in many shows. So when I think about Scream, I think of her as Sydney. When I think about Halloween, I just think of it as Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't really go Laurie Strode.
Yeah.
So it's kind of I think that really helped this movie as well, because you don't have that familiarity with the actors. You talk about Billy, you talk about Stu, you talk about Tatum, Dewey, Gail, Sydney,
Randy.
Randy, yeah. This is a movie where you talk about the characters, not the actors, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think you can put any picture of one of these characters on Twitter and say who's the actor, or or just the character name, and everyone will know who it is. Mm-hmm. Everyone will know who it is. I mean, the fact that the movie could do that and then spawned an entire franchise. I mean, it's impressive. Wes and Kevin did really, really well with this. I mean, I wonder if I don't think they ever really knew. How can you? No. How can you? It's one of those things where everything just works out. I mean, you've got Lee Schreiber playing Cotton Weary, who only took the role because he wanted to pay off his college debt. Jason Lee almost played Randy. Apparently, they saw him in Mallrats and really liked him, and he was originally considered for Randy. Imagine, I think that would have been such a different take on Randy. Randy would have been so different with Jason Lee doing him. I mean, Jason Lee's good, but it would have been a different Randy. Yeah. I think just the stars, Mark, the stars really did align. The constellations were there. It happened. It worked.
That's how these movies get made, though. these classics get made. I mean, look at Donnie Darko. No one knew what Donnie Darko was going to do. Like, look at some of these movies, I think,
Yeah.
that really build a life of their own 26 years later. I don't think you go into it going, we're going to make a classic. You know, I think Wes Craven needed to prove something. Kevin Williamson needed to prove something because, you know, he moved to LA, I believe, in 91. He sold Teaching Mrs. Tingle first. That wasn't made. And he wanted to break in through the industry. And he had great source material. He used the Gainesville Ripper? Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Yeah.
Woof,
Yeah.
horrifying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think you had a bunch of hungry people making this movie looking to prove something. It wasn't, nobody here I think was on a run of 5 hits in a row. So I think they were definitely, what's the word? They needed this. So I think they all took it seriously. But Wes was such a veteran. I think he shepherded these actors really good too. Like I think he he must have caught that Arquette and Cox had chemistry because he allows those scenes to breathe. And
Absolutely.
he knew that Lillard had the hot hand, so he just let him go crazy. Like my mom, my parents are gonna be so mad. Like he just had like a hot hand, and he just
Leave her alone.
Oh God, leave her alone. Oh man, and
I love that line.
yeah, and
I say it a lot.
I'm like Loomis just oozes with menace. He's a very scary character.
He was so good. Like I read, like he apparently, at first he had no idea that there were comedy elements in this movie. So when they started like filming and stuff, he was very confused. He couldn't understand why his co-stars were like playing it up and having fun. He was like, "We're doing a serious thing," and then like they had to explain to him, "No, like we've got some like comedy elements in here," and he was like, "Okay, I get it." But I mean, from his point of view, you can totally understand that because his character is the more serious guy. Like, there's nothing really funny about Billy. Every other character, even Stu, has a funny quirk or a funny thing. There is nothing funny about Billy. Mm-mm. So you can totally get how, Skeet's initial confusion. Like, why is everyone like thinking this is a joke? Like, he didn't know because he was just so focused on his very serious character.
I like when he says that movies make psychos more creative. But I feel like he drew a lot of inspiration from a Norman Bates, who was a murderer, who was unassuming and got away with a lot. Like Billy, I don't know. He said that movies make psychos more creative, but I feel like he drew a lot of inspiration from horror movies, if that makes sense. I don't think it made him a psycho, but he was a psycho who adopted, well, I guess it did make him more creative. But I just thought that was pretty interesting about him. And I like how he has to tell people that it's psycho, which kind of was annoying. It's like, guys, we know that line. But I guess kids, I wouldn't have known that at 14, so I guess that makes sense. But I found a really funny article on Decider, and I just want to read it to you. I want to see what you think. They wrote, "The reveal doesn't work without this duo, Lillard and Skeet. And it doesn't work without their combined hotness, dangerousness, and ridiculousness. I think about Lillard's delivery of 'my mom and dad are going to be so mad' like once a month. Skeet's got that raw, bad boyfriend sex appeal, and then she wrote, 'still not over him sucking corn syrup off his fingers.' And Lillard is the perfect, unexpected partner in crime. A goofy, loose cannon who manages to still be endearing, even after we learn he's a murderer. High school with these two is hell, but at least it's hot down here." That's what they wrote. But there's so many articles about it. I was doing research for another thing, and I found all these articles about people who love Billy and Stu. Not in the right way. Like, they love the villainness of them.
Yeah.
But I think they do capture that. I think they lean into it pretty hard to make this movie. And that's something the other Scream movies don't do as well. At all.
Yeah. No, true. And I mean, I also read a lot of things about Billy and Stu. And, at one point, people was shipping those two and saying, yeah, that was Stu's actual motivation. Because Stu was actually secretly in love with Billy, and it was back in the day when, people weren't, upfront about their sexual identities and stuff. And they actually asked, Kevin and Neve Campbell about it in interviews. And Neve was like, yeah, I could totally go with that is the reason why Stu helped Billy. That totally makes sense. Kevin said his work is always coded with, gay coding all over the place. So, I mean, if people want that to be the thing, sure, it works. I think that's the thing. You've got Dewey and Gail having this great chemistry, and then you've got Billy and Stu that's kind of it feels like this buddy comedy like thing happening, but they've got such amazing chemistry. And then at the end, it gets so personal. And I mean, like sex and violence just goes together. So you've got like this thing happening between them where they're stabbing each other, but like you can totally see some eroticism in there. Like I never thought about it, but after reading what people said, I'm like, oh yeah, now I can't not see it. I just think that's the thing. The pairings of everyone was just so great. Even like Sydney and Tatum, like the best friends. I totally bought that. I totally bought that they grew up together, besties. They've just got this like relaxed vibe with them. They know each other's secrets and like everything about each other. It's great pairings that happened. And then, yeah, but I mean, the ensemble cast in general is just fantastic. And then good old Randy.
Who's cool though, but he's not the stereotypical nerd. He's pretty cool. And he gets fired from his job a lot.
Right. And he again nails it. Like in the first and the second movie, he absolutely nailed the killer. Like, he nailed it. He knew it was Billy. I love the video store scene. The video store scene, like this entire movie, every scene is just an iconic scene. Every freaking scene. It's amazing.
And I feel like you're right. Mallrats and Scream were sort of the rise of this kind of character, right? A know-it-all, supposed nerd slacker who's actually kind of cool. I feel like that was sort of Randy in this. And that I don't know,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do think Scary Movie ran with that Billy Stu thing pretty far. I don't know if you remember that movie, but they run with that subplot between them pretty good.
I really need to watch Scary Movie again.
It made a lot of money. I was working in a theater when it came out.
I remember it was, and it's very popular still. I really need to watch. Shall we do the Scary Movie franchise?
I just did 1 and 2 in honor of this. So
cool.
That's why that's why I have so much Scream and Scary Movie in my brain right now. But I don't know. I think, man, this movie was really good to me when I was 14 because I was watching horror movies, but I didn't really get all the meta stuff. I just thought it was cool. Yeah. I thought it was dark. I thought it was brutal. I thought Neve Campbell was an interesting pick for the lead because she adds a really like intelligence and a sensitivity, I guess, to the lead role.
And the maturity.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Sydney also, is she's always been matured, the mature one, like, not just with how she handles things and how her brain like processes things, even physically. Like the first time Ghostface attacks her, whoever it was, Billy or Stu, like you can see she's had training. She's got some self-defense training in her. Like she kicks him. I'm like, nope, you're not, what do you think you're doing? I love that. Sydney wasn't just this helpless girl, victim. She's always been more mature than pretty much everyone around her.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made her our generation's final girl, what made her so iconic, and the movie itself. Because I think if they messed up her character, things wouldn't have been what it is today. It just wouldn't have.
And then she gets a hold of the phone and she starts calling out Stu. In my notes, I have in all caps, Sydney is a beast. Like, she's just a face-punching badass. And I got vibes from Scream 5 at the end when Sam kind of jumps into the fray. I think Sam could kind of take over that mantle of sort of...
For sure.
For
sure. She also doesn't take any crap from people. And, Yeah, definitely.
Have you noticed all the donuts on Dewey's desk and then he's eating donuts for breakfast? Have you noticed that?
No, actually, I didn't.
There's this tiny little production design or prop work in here that just makes me so happy. But I'm telling you, like this, I don't think I've ever liked this movie more. And I've always loved this movie. I kind of riding a high coming into this episode. And like even the moments remember when Sydney walks up to Gail and they want to talk off the record, she's like, "You owe me," and then Gail goes, "I owe you shit," and then Sydney goes, "You owe my mother." And then at the end, she's like, "You're not so sure anymore." Like, I love that play between them. There's a weird begrudging respect between them. And I think Sydney does the right thing, too, to kind of go over and talk to Gail. I don't know, it's really interesting. And this also that, this movie doesn't really have the traditional, like, growing up, all the slasher movies had the jocks, right? They kind of had the athletes, they had the kind of bro drinkers, they had like wildly promiscuous babysitters. This movie doesn't really have that aspect to it. So I think that's another element of freshness to it. Because I feel like I was just raised on movies that had the same four characters in every film. Like all really sort of, this is the nerd, this is the drug addict, this is the jock. And so it's nice to see characters who were quite three-dimensional and not totally, like Stu's not a jock, but he's also kind of cool. Like, I don't know, I thought that was an interesting dynamic to bring in those kind of characters. I don't know if you felt that way too.
No, 100%. I feel like they weren't stereotyped at all. They were like just normal kids that kind of fit into like more than one box, if you will, if you don't really want to put them in boxes. But yeah, like they were layered and they're more interesting and again, more relatable. I mean, I know they like said, yeah, they chose the release date because they wanted to like give like bored teenagers something to watch over the holidays and like Scream came out. Because yeah, it was for us and it was like, you know, relatable and like not the same old, like you say, like the jocks and the, you know, all the groups. And I mean, these were just like, yeah, these friends who, I mean, what, they seem like they live in the countryside, Sydney's house, like the most beautiful view up there. Oh my gosh. You know, like, yeah, they just live out there and do their thing and yeah, kind of normal, very normal. And I think that also added to the freshness of it, you know?
No, absolutely. Yeah, it just feels, I don't know. Even Randy, the way he walks, he has a strut. He's supposedly the nerd of the group, but he struts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got this cocky little attitude happening. Like,
and I don't know, I feel so,
I love it.
Yeah, it just feels like even the songs in this movie are super memorable. What you have that Nick Cave song, Red Right Hand, you know, Don't Fear the Reaper, School's Out, like just by Alice Cooper. Like I remember watching this movie and feeling a really, I don't know. It's weird when movies have a cool vibe to them. I feel like sometimes movies have this hip, cool vibe that then everyone tries to replicate. Like, you know, when a company sees something that's underground and cool, they adopt it and it doesn't become cool anymore. I feel like Scream was that underground cool thing, but this movie sort of has that vibe, if that makes sense, that you can't recreate.
Scream was a total trendsetter, really. I mean, like, I remember even, like you said, Rose McGowan, who ended up, like, buying her own wardrobe. And, like, yeah, we all started, like, wearing the skirts and the little socks with the shoes. And, I mean, like, there were these things, like the Sydney haircuts. I mean, like, they were trendsetters. The entire movie, we all quoted the lines all the time, all the live long day. I mean, still today, like sliced and diced. There's just so many memorable lines in here. That's just so fun. Yeah, they really set like a bar for what kids back then liked. Because we were all like, yes, we like this. We like this very, very
exactly,
much.
Yeah.
This is what we want. Thank you. Yes, the rest of you can just follow suit.
That's a great, and I'm going to read some movies off, and I'm going to see if I can do it in one breath. But I'm going to do the movies released between 97 and 2002 that sort of pulled their best Scream as far as teenagers or meta-ness. But I do want to say, in 95, these were the horror movies that came out. Candyman 2, Halloween 6, The Prophecy, Tales from the Hood, Vampire in Brooklyn, Leprechaun 3, and Demon Knight. I love Demon Knight. But horror was not in a great place. And so, after Scream, you get I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream 2, Campfire Tales, Halloween H2O, Urban Legend, The Faculty, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, Bride of Chucky, Disturbing Behavior, The Curve, Teaching Miss Tingle, The Rage Carrier 2, Idle Hands, Ginger Snaps, Final Destination, Psycho Beach Party, Scary, Scary Movie, Cherry Falls, Scream 3, Gossip Valentine, and Soul Survivors. Well, that was easy. But I thought I was going to struggle with that. I could have named like 30 more. But yeah,
Good job.
These were all because of Scream.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
I know movies are in production beforehand, but no, this was all because of Scream. It changed the horror landscape. It did.
Yes.
And
exactly.
I think it also raised the bar for horror sequels. And you look at franchises as a whole. This movie has, aside from Scream 3, all of these movies are currently fresh, which is unheard of in horror franchises. Like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, you have Dream Warriors and New Nightmare. Those are fresh. So you have 2 sequels. Friday the 13th? No. Then Nightmare, let's see, what's the other big one? Halloween, you have Halloween, and then you have Halloween 2018. I think those are the only 2 fresh Halloween movies. So pound for
H2O?
pound. What?
H2O? No.
No, it's like 50 something percent. It's not even fresh,
Oh,
which
gosh. Wow.
is annoying. But
Yeah,
I
come
love
on,
H2O.
guys.
Come on now. Come on, y'all.
Right, H2O. Let's do it. Let's get
Ah,
H2O fresh.
let's talk about that driving scene. Yeah, it's 52%. But it's so
Okay.
next to Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I think only Final Destination has one fresh sequel, and that's the 5th one. I think there's only one fresh Final Destination movie. You have Child's Play, which the latest Child's Plays have been well rated, but none of the early ones were. Like Child's Play has come into a renaissance. But when you look at these with box office and pound for pound, so Scream 1 made $172 million worldwide in 96. And Scream 2 made 173. Scream 2 made 173. Scream 3 made 162. Scream 4 made 96. Not great. But 5 Cream comes back and plows 150 million. Like it's pound for pound when it comes to audience scores, critical scores, sequels that are good, and box office. Next to maybe, let's see, Romero's Dawn of the Dead trilogy, maybe all the Hannibal Lecter movies tied together. I wrote an article for this about Rotten Tomatoes, but it's changed, so I don't have the exact numbers. But it's now with Scream 5 added, I think it might be the best pure story all the way through horror franchise on paper.
Probably. I mean, I think that's also why it works so well, because Scream just feels that little bit more clever.
Yeah.
If you think about the first one, and I think that's also part of why it did so well and why like we all loved it so much, because everyone's clever. Stu at one point tells Randy in the video store, it's the millennium, motives are incidental. Like stop, like going with like Stu, goofball Stu. Even Stu's like, so everyone's clever. You don't have a character that's like, like I don't care, I don't know what's going on, or everybody knows what's going on. Everyone's kind of like, on top of things. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no one gets left behind. Everyone like keeps up and like we're going forward, and we're thinking things through. And even like with, I think the latest Scream movies that might not have been as clever, they at least still had these arguments of like, why, like, because the whole meta movie thing, but they still had these arguments and like talking about it and figuring things out. And I think like top that with the whole us, the audience, getting to figure out every time we watch it for the first time, the whodunit angle. And yeah, it works. It's great. The whodunit thing is also another thing. In Chucky, it's Chucky. In Halloween, it's Michael. But with Scream, there's the whodunit angle that makes it so much more engaging for us. It every time it's a solid twist, like the third one, people didn't really like that whole twist thing, but like that's probably the weakest of the 5. But still, you still got to do the whole, let's detective with Gail and Dewey and figure out who's the killer, who's behind the mask. And that just makes it so much more engaging. And that, like, I think makes us, the audience, feel like, yes, this is for you. We made this little puzzle thing for you. And we like that. We like that. We like when we are being considered.
That's such a great point too, because you do feel part of the joke in Scream. I don't know, it's when they're talking about movies, you feel like when Kirby's talking about horror remakes, and then when Quaid is talking about entitled fans, you kind of sit there and you go, oh, okay, like this is
exactly.
And I still okay, I'm telling you, and I hate speaking for people, and I hate when people do this for me, and it's totally fine if you don't get on the vibe of this movie, but when you see that scene where Gail walks in and she matches all the signs and the ladder, like that movie was meant to be cheeky. It was meant to be stupid.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people didn't want that, and so, but I don't want to speak for people because you can clearly dislike it. But I think that movie, even the laugh, like the beats and the Hollywood kind of stuff, I love it. And also, Scream had the luxury of being first, Because sometimes I think maybe when we got to 98, 99, when there were high school characters talking like with just the most verbose language, and they were just so loquacious and effusive, and you're just thinking,
Yeah.
you're just like, shut
Who talks
up,
like this? Yeah.
stop. Like, this does not feel original anymore. But Scream had the
Absolutely.
luxury of not having to worry about that. And also, I think what's interesting is the Tatum character in any other movie would have been wildly gratuitous character. Like, they'd never exploit Rose McGowan in this movie. And that's
No.
very refreshing. But I feel like in any other horror movie, she would have been. So, like, it still does subvert expectations in a way. Does that make sense? Like, she would have been the dumb friend. But Tatum's not
Exactly.
dumb at all.
No, she's not. She made like one bad mistake and it probably kind of played into like her vanity that she thought she might be able to, or she was just really panicking. Who knows really what happened there that she decided to go for the little door. But I mean, that was just like more funny than anything else. Other than that, I mean, she legit was freaking out because I mean, she was being attacked and she was alone in the garage. That's the thing with every scene. You can totally like see the seriousness, and then you can totally see how they like, okay, we're subverting it and making it funny. Throw beer bottles at him, Tatum, like, it's just, yeah, I feel like it's actually a very fun way to look at like, how comedy and horror works. Think about like a scary scene. Okay, now think about what you can do to actually elevate it and make it more funny, elevate it to a comedy level. Like what
Don't make it elevated horror.
Yeah, that's what I say. Elevated to comedy.
Not Babadook.
Be very specific. But yeah, I mean, I also feel like that is Scream, and that is why I love Scream so much and why I'm such a big fan, because Scream has always been like ahead of the curve. And like, I mean, you've got Scream 3 that like basically took on the whole Me Too movement before that even happened. You had Scream 4 that was basically predicting what a trend it will become for people to live stream their murders like online and make their little movies for their little fame. That's what Scream does. Like, it's always just kind of like, staying ahead of the curve. I think like it's too soon to say what Scream 5 meant, but we'll revisit it soon.
I want to revisit it now after watching all 5
all
backwards.
of it again. Yeah, we should. Nah, yeah.
I really do, because yeah, I'm gonna watch Scream 5 again soon, or 5 Cream. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. 5 Cream. 5 Cream.
I mean, I love 5 Cream because, like, again, that's also where the audience is part of like the fun and into it. Like, they mark the whole toxic fandom vibes, but they're also like talking to Scream fans there too when they're saying, yeah, like the original is just nothing's ever going to be better. Like that's what people think, and they kind of like, it's not just toxic fandom. It's just fans in general. Like people being precious about, oh, but it was as good as the original. Like let a movie be a movie and let time do its thing, kind of.
Yeah.
I love, me, I love the 5th one. I've seen it like, almost a dozen times now. I love it.
Yeah, it's the one thing I wish Scream 5 Cream had a little bit more of was it could go a little bigger. It could, with humor. It's not that movie, but I do wish it had. I think it lacks that big comedic presence. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Like, they're good, but there's no Stu. There's no Dewey. I mean, Dewey's in it, but Dewey's serious Dewey. Like, I kind of like, I don't know. That's my one thing, but I do love the whole plot and the breakdown, and I think they cast really well too. Jenna Ortega's crushing it. Addams Family. She's on a heck of a roll. And,
I kind of hope like the 6th one, like, gives the characters more an opportunity too. But I think, I mean, it's difficult because you can't really like just say, okay, we need to get the next Dewey and the next Gale and the next. I mean, you can't replicate something that's iconic.
True.
Because then it won't be iconic. And I think it was tricky because, like I say, they're trying to usher in a new generation. And I think they're all trying to figure out, okay, but which characters work? I don't think anyone knew Kirby was going to be Kirby. Like, I don't think anyone knew that the world would love Kirby so much that they literally are now bringing her back for the sixth screen.
Hayden channeled something pretty awesome in that role, though. Like, that's
She's good.
yeah.
Oh, she's good, man. Woo, she's very good.
So let's do this. We've watched all 5.
Oh gosh, yeah.
All
Okay.
right. So now let's go through and pick our 5 favorite characters who aren't Sydney, Gale, and Dewey. And then we'll hear about your shooting, stabbing and shooting data.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting one. Okay.
All right.
You want to tell me your top 5?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking at this as I am picking my favorites 1 through 5. 1, Jennifer Jolie, Parker Posey, Scream 3. She's just a maniac, just an absolute maniac. I could watch her jump into Patrick Warburton's arms all day, every day. It just makes me so happy. Next, if I had to go, oh, there it is, and jump into his arms. It's amazing. So good. All right, number 2. I think you're going to know what I'm going to say, and that is Kirby, Hayden Panettiere. Just, I don't know, she just had a hot hand in that movie. She's good. And that look she gives that boyfriend, the acting.
Yeah.
She's on another level than the other actors in this movie. You're like,
absolutely.
There's a reason she's coming back. Crazy likable. 2. Okay. This is going to be a little, you might not see this one coming, but I feel pretty good about this one. So I'm going to say, no, 3. 3 is Joel Jones, Dwayne Martin from Scream 2.
Yes.
I'm out of here. I'm out.
Yes.
I'm out. I've seen this movie.
He's great.
Your cameraman who you kept insulting about his weight, and you called him Jesus, and then he responded by going, no, my name's Kenny. But it's, poor Kenny. But I love it. He disappears, he comes back, he lives. It's just a refreshing thing. Now, this is where it gets tough. Gosh, I don't know. This is really hard.
It is.
Okay, I would keep those 3. That's my top 3. But I gotta say Randy, because I feel like Randy subverts the trends of the nerd. He's actually a nice guy. He can get over himself and still hang out and help Sydney. He's not that whiny friend. And his death meant something. Like, his death, when it happened, it made me feel. I felt.
It was one of the hardest, toughest deaths in the entire series. Like, absolutely.
Now I got to get to the last part. So we have Mindy, we have Sam, but I can't. You wrote an article about this, but while watching Scream, One Cream, I was watching Matthew Lillard, and it's wildly unbelievable. This would never happen, but I'm just thinking to myself, why not give him a supporting actor Oscar nomination? Why not? Like, why not?
Why not?
Why not? Have some fun.
Why not?
This dude, the phone bit, my mom, that's the owl. Like, I'm kind of woozy. I think I'm dying. He's just, the liver alone, the life that he gives this movie is something special. So I'm going to go with Matthew Lillard as Stu. So I'm very happy with my 5. I really am. I kind of, maybe if I watch 5 again, I might put Sam on my list because I like when she goes beast mode. But I just think these are the 5 that, like, if I put someone else in, I don't feel it would feel organic to me. These 5 feel organic, so I'm not going to ignore that. But the two are the Jennifer Jolie and Kirby are 1 and 2, or 2 and 1. It doesn't matter, but they're hands down my favorite. So yeah, that's my 5. And this was tough. I had to do some soul searching. I had to go punch dancing in an abandoned warehouse. I had to take a walk like Reese Witherspoon did in Wild. I had to go take a Julia Roberts Eat, Pray, Love journey. It was nuts. But I think I got it. Ice cream. Yeah, a lot of it. A lot of pizza. Gelato. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, Good stuff. Yeah, I was like, well, I'm going on another trip to work on this, you know. All right, so that's my 5. Oh, gosh. Tell me yours.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Well, I mean, yeah, we definitely have some overlap. But, I mean, yeah, I have, like, there's no two ways about the fact that Stu's on my list. Like, Stu is my guy. He's on the list. Like, I mean, he's just too great to not have. Of course, my girl Kirby is on the list. Of course, my girl Sam is on the list. Of course, my girl Jennifer is on the list. And then I'm sticking with my boy Chad. From the new. I don't know. I love Chad. I love Mindy too. I love Chad. Like, yeah, I want to see more of Chad. He's a very interesting character. He's got some layers to him that, like, yeah, we haven't seen enough. We saw a lot of Mindy. And I like Mindy. Don't get, like, I like her, but I want to see more of Chad now. I want to see him develop more. I think, yeah, he's a fun guy. He could be a fun guy to add to, the Randys and the Stews and,
Yeah.
the Deweys that won't be there anymore. I'm rooting for my boy Chad.
I hope with the new additions to the cast that they still find room for him in there.
I hope so.
And Sam, I feel like this is Sam's story, so I'd still want Sam to be the lead in this. So
I love Sam.
It gets to the point in legacy films where you don't build the new characters because you're so focused on the older ones. So I think they're gonna need to really still focus on them. Like, I hope Sam Weaving doesn't come in and just take over, which is great because Samara Weaving's awesome, but I
actually, you know what? We were very excited when they said she's in the new Scream. But then afterwards, I'm like, oh gosh, is she just like going to have a cameo like Kristen Bell had in the fourth one in the beginning? I was like, it could actually just as well be like a little cameo thingy. Or I don't know, Samara is playing someone in the movie. Stab 8, Stab 9, where we know it's Stab movies.
Oh, yeah.
So it could be that, like Samara is maybe the actress. So got like a bit role to add to body counts or something. I don't know. I don't think they'll just switch to completely new characters from scratch again. I think we'll still follow the sisters. But yeah, who knows? Who knows these things?
I want Sam to beat people up. She needs to get her.
Yes,
her
I just want Sam
Sydney
to,
on.
yeah.
She needs to get her Sydney
Absolutely.
on. And so.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this is a deep bench. This is a really deep bench. But I'm happy with my 5. Yeah. Yeah. I would add the lemon squares in there. I would add the lemon squares too. But
Mark and the lemon squares.
Those lemon squares taste like ass. Like, what a great line. No, before we get in your gun, the gun and stabs. Okay, who's the MVP of the entire franchise?
I mean, I told you this.
Yeah,
it's Gail.
we agree. Yeah, it is, hands down.
I mean, yeah, I'll hear nothing else.
No.
It's who it is. It's Gail. Like, I have made this argument when we were talking about Scream 4, is that Sydney's arc ended with 3, and Gail has just, like, she's forever been. I mean, she enters with her little neon outfit, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. I also just love the 90s of it all. It's such a 90s movie, and it's great. Yeah. We've got, like, these little sunset tableaus, like, while Sydney takes a nap or whatever. Yeah, no, it's just fantastic. But it's definitely Gail. Gail for the win.
Hands down.
Like, I have predicted that Gail might die the next Scream, but I'm starting to think no, because I don't want her. Like, it's like, no, I'm not ready. I'm not
She's
ready
a
for Gail
Highlander.
to leave
She's not dying.
the franchise. Yeah.
You can't kill her.
Right? She's like the queen. She's going to live to an old age.
Yeah. Just put a blanket on her. Age. Let her heal. The magic healing blanket. And her bullet wounds will heal.
Get her some dogs. Something.
I still love the Scream 4 bit. Get her some dogs. Then they'll make The Crown about her. The Reporter. That'll be a Netflix show.
The Reporter. Exactly.
So.
Who will play Gail?
Gosh. Alison Brie?
Alexandra Daddario.
Oh, there we go.
Alexandra Daddario.
Yeah, let you know what? Give her that.
Dark hair, blue eyes.
Let her crush it. She's really good in We Summon the Darkness. And we still need to do the Texas Chainsaw 3D episode you talked about.
Oh, yes, we should, cuz.
Get him, cuz. But it...
I love it. I love it so much.
My students were talking about that the other day, and they're like, they're cousins, aren't they? And I just had a good laugh about that. But
do you think?
So yeah, what about how many stabs and how many shots are in this?
So yeah, like the first Scream has got the least of all stabs. It's got 13, where Scream 3's got 14, 2's got 22, 4's got 23, and 5's got 49 stabs. Yeah. Like 5 is like, right, because Sam goes wild in the end. I think she does like more than a dozen stabs at the end. She massacres Richie. And yeah, gunshots, Scream also. Only 3 gunshots in the entire Scream, the first movie. Then we've got the 4th one with 7, the 3rd one with 12, The fifth one was 25, and Scream 2 with the most gunshots at 28.
Oh.
Again, with the final scene with like bang, bang, bang going off there in the theater. Who takes a gun into a theater, honestly? But terrible.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
But yeah.
That's fun.
So they did ramp up the stuff, like ramped it up, took it down a bit again with Scream 3, and then just keep pushing it up again. Yeah, it's just interesting stats.
How would you rank all 5?
1, 3, 5, 4, 2. It's easy for me.
Wow. Yeah, so I think I've switched. I think I went 1, 3, 2, 4, 5. But I love all of them.
Yeah, no, same. Love all of them.
Yeah.
They're great.
This is kind of saying like it's 5 awesome things and I rank them. It doesn't mean one is that anything becomes less awesome. It just means I love 5, but none of the characters get you want more of the characters, but I don't think it has a Kirby. I don't think it has a Stu. So I think that's why it's 5 cream for me. And then like I always do, real quick. So then like what I always do is while watching this, I got inspired. So I sent you a message an hour before we were supposed to record, and I asked you to put together a list of horror movie characters or actors that should be nominated for awards. And you've already written the article for Cracked, which is awesome. And so that was a lot easier for you than I was anticipating. But I put together a list of some actors that I think should have been could have plausibly, no, not plausibly because horror movies never get. But I'm going to say actors who should have been nominated for an Oscar.
Yes.
Number 1.
Robbed.
Anthony Perkins.
Correct.
He should have been, like, every time I watch that movie, I get annoyed. It's just,
right?
It's like, guys.
Anthony Perkins was just amazing, man.
And then I think Choi Min-sik from I Saw the Devil, he's just so unhealthy in it. So I want him. I think Ashley Judd from Bug, because the amount of crap that she goes through is just insane. I like Kathleen Turner in Serial Mom. I remember watching that movie and going, this is insane. I watched that when I was like 11 or 12. And I was like, this is nuts. I also love Kieran Shipka and the Blackcoat's daughter. Of course, you have to do Lupita Nyong'o from Us. I also think that Thomas Jane from The Mist, for that final moment, he's so powerful. And then I also think, it'll never happen, but I really like Matilda Lutz in Revenge. She just, like, talk about an actor just giving everything and then getting a beer can Phoenix on her. So yeah, that's my list. So who
and John
else?
Goodman from
John Goodman.
Cloverfield Lane.
I figured you were going to add that, so I didn't want to steal all of your good ones. So
I thought you were actually just going to say everything.
And Rebecca Hall from Resurrection, because her monologue, that movie only really works because of her. But the amount of like physicality in her performance, I still think about it a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna say Rebecca Hall too from Resurrection. So that's my list.
No, I've got Rebecca Hall for The Night House because I think she's just brilliant in The Night House. But you're right, that monologue in Resurrection is something I'll never forget. Jacob Tremblay from Dr. Sleep, that kid is amazing. That kid is so good. Margot Kidder for Black Christmas. I'm thinking off the top of my head now because I don't have the list here. But I also agree with a lot of yours.
You had Titan.
Yes.
What's her name? Agath Roussel. I probably butchered that, but she was the amount that she put her body through.
Agatha Roussel. Oh, so good. She was great.
Oh, you gave the entire cast of Train to Busan.
Pretty much the entire cast. Yes.
We wrote about.
So good.
We've both written about Train to Busan for Cracked. I read about the train conductor who's an underappreciated hero of horror because he's a beast in that movie.
He is.
Oh.
I love that movie so much.
And then
I think we covered like the big like hitters for the horror stuff. So many good actors in horror movies like that. You so wish they would get more recognition for it because damn good acting. So good. Jacob Tremblay and Dr. Sleep. So good. I mean everyone in Dr. Sleep. Rebecca Ferguson, amazing. Ian McGregor, amazing, because he's always amazing. Like, just, like, everyone. Oh, who's Scatman from The Shining?
Yeah.
Who's Scatman? Yeah, like, actually, I mean, so many good, like, underappreciated characters with actors who, like, just did so well.
World
Goosebumps
cinema, like, rides horror movies so much to make profits. Like every major
Mm.
studio, every streaming thing has horror movies because those are what people watch and those are what people are really committed to. So it's just odd that it's always excluded from the Oscars because horror is a major part of cinema, and to just
100%.
wholly ignore it is annoying.
Yeah, it's funny how people think. I don't know what is tougher for people to do. I mean, it's not like these actors that we just mentioned. Lupita wasn't just running around screaming her head off in Us.
No.
She was. I mean, I want to see Nicole Kidman do that. I want to see, you know what I'm saying? I want to see Scarlett Johansson do that. I want to see like other actresses do that. Scarlett would actually be able to do that.
Yeah, she'd be down
I
for
want to
it.
see that type of, like really like deep acting, but also scaring the bejesus out of people at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
because it's one thing like shedding a tear, doing a scene where you like, you're intense and whatever. It's another thing to make people so incredibly afraid of you. Ugh, but I love Lupita. She's the best. She was robbed. I mean, that was like, yeah, it annoys. Let's talk about something else.
And
I'm over it.
we're not really fans of Hereditary, but I feel like if Hereditary, which is a family drama, Toni Collette would have been nominated. And it's just that's
Also, absolutely, yeah. I mean, she's just great in it. Like you say, if it wasn't horror or some supernatural thing, she would probably be nominated.
Mhm.
It's nonsense.
If you took out the cult aspect of it and called the movie The Loss, she would have been nominated for an Oscar.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So where can people find you? Where can people find you online?
Nowhere.
Nowhere?
Nowhere. I'm going incognito.
You have a great Twitter page. You don't want people going there?
Yeah. No, I'm on Twitter at Sanandi. I'm not sure if I'm still going to have a Facebook page, but yeah, search for me, Sanandi Burtis, on the internet. Maybe you find me, maybe you don't. See if it's in the stars, if the constellation is like, aligning.
Maybe she's right behind you.
That too. Like usually, just look behind you. I'll probably be there.
All right, so
eating ice cream.
We did it. We're on a horror. Well, actually, Horror Moments is going to publish before this one. So, but we have another one coming up. We have some fun stuff coming up. So we
do. Oh, I can't believe we're actually done with Scream. We should do this all again, like in a year, 2 years time. Like we just do everything again, run it again. What's changed?
I've committed Bloodshot and I've committed extra episodes to Malignant, so I'm down for whatever. Maybe we should revisit 5 Cream and then to get people into 6. Does that make sense? 6 Cream.
Now that we've done the whole thing again, maybe before the 6 come out, or like when it does, like maybe do like a 5-6er or something again, and like it's fun. I can always talk about Scream. We can always talk about Scream.
6 Cream.
We've written so much about it. Yeah, it's fun.
All right, well,
so good.
We're done. This is crazy.
Woo! Amazing.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Zanani Boetas, this is Movies on the Flicks. We'll see you next week.